Welcome back to Single Tree Nation, guys, brought to you by Toast Tab, our primary technology sponsor of our show and partner in our restaurant. We love Toast. They help us every single day with providing excellent service and hospitality through technology. So today we have our illustrious co-host, Mr. Derry Wells, with us as always.
What is up, everybody?
And we have a very special guest, someone that I've known for a little while and look forward to hearing more in-depth stories from, Mr. Duce Raymond from Duce's Wild and Sweet Baby Ray's in Chicago. Welcome, my friend.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's good to be here.
Super stoked to have you, man. We have crossed paths a couple of times, and I was super excited you decided to join us today, because there's something about really getting in and hearing someone's story. It just kind of makes the food and their service and everything change a little bit and mean a little bit more to you. So I'll give you a couple of minutes. Why don't you tell everybody who you are, and obviously there's going to be questions around Sweet Baby Ray's and Duce's Wild, right?
Barbecue
sauce. Nothing like a good barbecue sauce story to start the day. So
that's right. Well, yeah, I'm Duce Raymond. I'm the managing partner of SBR Events Group. SBR Events Group is a company with 3 brands. So we have Sweet Baby Ray's, True Cuisine, which is our high-end catering company, and then Duce's Wild, which is sauces and rubs, and we're in the process of building our first Duce's Wild restaurant right now. And my dad is the chef that created Sweet Baby Ray's. That's kind of why I'm in the position I'm in. Although I didn't always plan to be a chef or in the hospitality industry, but as my path led me there, that's what happened. So I actually graduated from high school saying I wasn't going to be a chef because my dad's always working nights, weekends, holidays, and always grumpy. Turns out that it's just because he was a grumpy guy, not because he was a chef.
It's because he's a dad. That's why.
Yeah, right. He was an old school chef, man. My dad was he was awesome. I mean, I give him a hard time about being grumpy, but I learned so much from him, and I learned a hard work ethic, and that's the main thing that I took away from him, and something that I carry on with me today. And he instilled that in me, and super grateful for it. But yeah, so I decided after high school I wasn't going to go into the hospitality industry. Growing up, my dad had a couple restaurants. I worked pretty much, dishwasher, line cook, prep cook, server, busboy, all that type of stuff, and was just going the traditional route. Ended up in school, and I said after the first year, this is definitely not for me. I'm not doing 4 years of this. So I took a little time off, moved out to Utah with some buddies. I grew up in central Wisconsin. I was born in Chicago, grew up in central Wisconsin, and then after high school moved out to Utah with some buddies and had a great time, but really kind of fell back into the restaurant and hospitality industry because that's all I knew. So I worked at restaurants out there. 9/11 happened, and I moved back home, and then that's when I started going to culinary school. So that's kind of how I progressed. And then in culinary school, I actually lived with Dave, my dad's brother, who is Sweet Baby Ray, who ran the company. And when we were there, decided that we were going to get into the restaurant industry. And that's something that I was really passionate about. And we opened the first Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue restaurant in 2005. I was still in culinary school, and we've slowly grown ever since. And it has not been an easy path, as you guys know about the restaurant industry. Kind of struggled for a long time. And so that was 2005. 20 years later, the restaurant's still open. At one point, we had 3 restaurants, and but really found our niche in catering. So that's something that we've been focused on since 2012. And again, lots of up and downs, lots of failures, lots of successes, and but didn't really find financial success till about 2019, and then COVID happened. And ever since COVID, we've been on a roll because we got super blessed. COVID was tough. We thought we were going to close the business, but the restaurant stayed open as an essential business. And then as we got through that, there was such a backlog in catering. So when we finally opened the catering company, like mid 21, we just were on a roll since then. So we've been blessed that way and built a good book of business. 60% of our business is weddings. And so now we're going to continue to grow that and then also focus more on corporate catering.
Gotcha. So you opened, did you say you opened in 2005, the restaurant opened?
Yep. We have a small 36-seat barbecue restaurant. We use the Southern Pride smoker, homemade sides. When we first opened, the menu was way too big. Like we had way too much stuff on the menu, and over the years have toned it down and focused more heavily on, smoked meats and the sides. But, if I did it all over again, I would like we're going to do with Duce's Wild. It's going to be 4 meats and 4 sides, and that's it. I think the simpler, the better.
I think that's one of the lessons we learned in COVID was that, all these restaurants had like cheesecake style menus that were, 30 pages long, and you needed to have a thesaurus to figure out what some of the words were. And it was just huge. Right. And then I'll never forget. So the restaurant company I was working for, we had a very large menu, and COVID happened and we broke down and went down to like 10 items total. I mean, that's all we had on the menu was like 10 items. And then being here in Tennessee, we opened up earlier than most states. So the company I worked for, Tennessee was the first state to reopen. And I told them, like, just leave the menu the way it is. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's just get back to operating, get all the SOPs set up on how to reopen and all those things. And our sales actually went up versus going down or staying flat because people just ordered what we had on the menu. And it was, there was no complaints. Everybody was excited. And now some of that was probably, they were just, stove
happy
up and tired of being
that you were
home.
open.
Right. Yeah. We were open. So they wanted to eat. So, you said something that struck a nerve, and from 2005 to 2019 is a long time to be an overnight success.
Yeah, I think that we're successful today because of the struggles we've had. Actually, I'm positive of it. We wouldn't be where we are today if we didn't go through those struggles, and I wouldn't have the opportunity to open a new restaurant and to develop stuff like the sauces and rubs because of everything we learned. And I went through my own personal trials and tribulations over that time too. I'm a recovering alcoholic. Did every drug, did the bad ones twice just to make sure they were bad. But now I'm clean and sober for 8 years. And
well done, man.
And I couldn't do what I do today if I was still using. But there's so much truth to what you said. It's not an overnight success, even with the name Sweet Baby Ray's. That's what we thought. We're going to open a restaurant and Sweet Baby Ray's, everyone's going to be there. They're going to be cheering us on and all this stuff. And it's just not like that. The business, any business you get in, hospitality, whatever, you're selling aluminum foil or anything, is hard. You really have to make a name for yourself. And, social media has been great the last handful of years. We started taking it seriously in like 2021, and that's helped, but that's not there was no silver bullet. And I don't care what anybody says, there's no silver bullet. Just because you're on social media doesn't make you a success. What makes you a success is working hard, treating your people good, building a team around you that has similar goals, and being cash flow positive.
Yes. Yeah. What Sean Walchef always says, the number one rule in business is to stay in business. So you can't do that without being cash flow positive somehow. So
right.
You talk about your own trials and tribulations. And one of the things that I actually didn't notice until probably yesterday was you have not always been such a, what's the best way to word this, specimen of a man. you're in pretty good shape as it is today. I've seen some recent pictures of you. You look good, man. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Yep.
You used to be a little bit heavier.
A lot of bit heavier.
So was it the drugs and the alcohol and that caused your weight? And
sure,
what caused you to change?
So, I mean, I was always a chubby kid growing up, and I was in the food industry. If you didn't clear your plate, you were in trouble, and I took that seriously.
Why did our parents do that to us?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I paid for that. You're like, it's like, come on,
parents. I do it to my kids. I did it last night.
You can't have dessert unless you clear your plate. So it's like you can eat more if you eat more. So it was just never. I just wasn't like scolded for being overweight or anything like that. It was just that's how I was, and so and then the drinking and everything on top of that just compounded. And then when my wife, we started to have kids and everything, it just kept on rolling, and I got up to, I was, the biggest I remember seeing on the scale was 296, but I'm sure it was more than that because after that point, I didn't even look at the scale anymore. But as I quit drinking, then I needed to focus my energy somewhere else and started going to the gym and started by walking, then, lifting little weights. And now, I mean, that's just part of my routine. I get up at 4 a.m. and go to the gym, and that's just part of my daily routine, and I enjoy doing it. Some people say that it's like, what, are you crazy? Why are you doing that? You don't have to do it, but I enjoy doing it. I get up, have my coffee, go to the gym, come home, make breakfast for the kids and help my wife get them out the door. Then I get ready and go to work. And
do you find it as a when, if I'm sure there's days that you miss because of this, that, or the other, right? Mm-hmm. Life happens and you can't go do your normal routine. Do you find now that it's been years that you've had that routine, that when you do it, you almost feel not bad, but you're out of whack for the day?
Yeah, it's for sure. I mean, like I was out in Roswell, Georgia for the Royal Oak Invitational and had to catch an early flight. There was like 2 days that was totally out of my routine. And you just, you're off, just not exactly the same. I'm definitely a creature of habit. I mean, I got the same program most days, and that's when I feel the best. Absolutely. But, part of the deal is like I put this time in, I've lost the weight. I can, splurge a little bit or miss a day and it's not that big of a deal. But my preference is to go to the gym and eat the way I want to eat. But it doesn't always happen for sure.
Derry and I have always been very active individuals. The Army kind of instilled some disciplines into me that changed my life mentally. Life has happened a few times and I've gained some weight and lost some weight and gained some weight and lost some weight. And I would say that my buddy over here and I have done a really good job this year of holding each other accountable to doing that. Right.
That's good.
So I bring that up for the fashion of, if you dive into whether it's working out or a diet or you're trying to learn something new, it requires a discipline. And do you find that the disciplines that you learn in the gym help you in your business?
Yeah, I look at it like this. If you're starting off the day with something really hard, like you're, lifting something up that's super heavy until it hurts, and then, going to answering some emails isn't so bad. I mean, there's that's the way I look at it. It's like I do a lot of things in our business. Like I started and I was, in the kitchen, cooking, doing dishes, doing the orders and all that stuff. We've grown to the place where now I have a general manager, a director of sales, an executive chef, and I'm overseeing everything. So I'm not like in the grind on the line or anything like that, but I have to keep the whole thing going. I'm looking how we can grow. I work mostly, I manage all, I work with all the managers, and then I work mostly with the marketing department trying to build the awareness and sales and everything like that. But that's not like hard physical work. It's mental work. And, when we shoot the videos, it was the strangest thing. It dawned on me maybe almost a year into it. Like we would do 2 or 3 videos at a time, and it would take maybe 3 or 4 hours, but I'm actually cooking the food, performing on camera, kind of managing the timing of everything. We have a camera person there, so they're, managing that part of it. I'm not filming and all that stuff, but I felt so drained, like I had just worked on the line for 8 hours after doing that filming. And I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, man, I must be slacking, or what's wrong with me? And it's like, it's so mentally draining having all those things going on at the same time. And, I'm sure our hardcore chefs or some of these other guys would laugh when I saying that, but it's true. It drains you when your mind is thinking at full bore for like 3 or 4 hours. Definitely.
I never realized how much, I don't want to say harder because that's not the right word. How much different it is to work on the administrative side. And someone said to me a little while ago, they said, "Man, you look tired."
Yeah.
and it's funny because I feel great, but the last 3 or 4 days have been just that. They've been very thought-provoking, mentally challenging because I'm having to focus on certain things, and I have a couple of different videos that I'm working on and doing the editing and how I want it to look and all those things. And I ran around to 3 different places today to get different shots for one of these videos. So, it's challenging. I completely understand it. And until you actually get put into it, you don't really realize how much it is, how much it changes. So let's take a quick break, and then we'll come right back, and maybe we can dive into a mac or beans. What's going on, guys? I'm your man, Charlie Eblin, the owner of Single Tree Barbecue, located right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, 2805 Old Fort Parkway. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 until 8 p.m. and on Sundays from 11 to 3. If you want some smoked wings all the way to some Texas-style smoked brisket, y'all come see us. We have some amazing lunch specials during the week and outstanding barbecue right here in the Middle Tennessee area. We can't wait to see you guys. Welcome back, guys. I'm your man, Charlie Eblin from Single Tree Nation. As always, we have our illustrious co-host, Mr. Derry Wells, with us.
I feel like I'm just a participant today.
A participant?
Yeah, just kind of watching.
You're never just a participant, Derry. You're my sidekick. It's like Batman and Robin,
Oh,
I don't know who's who. You decide that.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You're Batman. I'm Robin. So it's easy.
Jeez. Look, to reset a little bit, we are sitting here, we're talking to Mr. Duce Raymond from Duce's Wild Sweet Baby Ray's, and then I always forget the name of your catering company, so you'll have to
True
forgive
Cuisine.
me.
Yeah, True Cuisine is our high end.
True Cuisine. I'll remember that eventually. Takes me a second. So let's so when you think of going back to being a kid, and your dad and your uncle are working on the barbecue sauce, they got all that stuff going, you're now, it's in retail. What's that like as a kid to walk through a store and see something that your family's created and is at this point now looking back wildly successul?
Right. Yeah, it's funny. You're the second person in just like a couple of weeks to ask me that question, and I didn't really think about it like that when I was a kid. Like we knew Sweet Baby Ray's, but it wasn't as big in the 90s as it is today.
Right.
Sweet Baby Ray's today, it's amazing. So when my dad and uncle built it from, a $2,000 investment, a high school education, and a dream in the early 80s to the year 2002 when they sold it, they built it to a $30 million brand. So it was pretty big. But today, it's a $2.2 billion brand.
Gosh.
And it sells more than the next it smells more than all the other sauces on the shelf combined. So that means it holds more than 50% of the market share. So this is like different levels, you know. I mean, that's more than Coke's has in market share than for soda. That's more than Hellman's has in. Man, I mean, it's just a crazy story. I mean, they hit a lot of things right with the name Sweet Baby Ray's. Everybody likes saying it. The logo pops and everything. So and Ken's has brought it to that level. Ken's is the company that bought us. That we didn't have the infrastructure like they had. They had the Ken's salad dressing. They manufacture the Paul Newman's brand. They have a bunch of other brands as well. So they had that infrastructure to really scale it. But it starts with a great product. I mean, people love Sweet Baby Ray's, and now it's a staple. You know, it's like if you run out of ketchup, you're going to the store buying more. It's the same thing with Sweet Baby Ray's now. It's like one of those things that they're filling up. But when I was a kid, I knew it was a kind of big deal, and it was cool to see it on the retail shelf. And like when I was in high school, people called me Sweet Baby. That was my nickname. It wasn't Duce or Larry or anything. It was just Sweet Baby. And so it was cool, and definitely, you know, we didn't see any financial success like my family from it until after they sold. And then I was like out of high school, and my dad had he had a fire burning in his pocket before they sold. So he bought a big house, he bought an Escalade, he bought a boat and all that stuff. He did his good of a job of spending all that money, so I had to work the rest of my life.
He knew what he was doing.
He told me. He's like, you can sell my toys. He told me that. So which is great, you know, because I, especially now on the path that I'm on, like if I'm not working and busy and doing something, like, I mean, I don't want to sound like ignorant or something like that. Yeah, it's work and everything like that, but I want to be working because I need something to keep me busy. So I'm super happy to be in the position that I'm at. Yeah, work is still work, and it's not always sunshine and rainbows, that's for sure. But if I'm going to be working, to have the family legacy with Sweet Baby Ray's, to working on my own brand, like I'm definitely blessed and feel like I'm in a good spot.
With the Duce's Wild, how much have you gone back and talked to family, dad, uncle, whoever, and be like, hey, what's y'all's input? Have y'all had like tastings at the office or whatever? Or have you told them, look, I just want y'all to stay out because I want this to be mine. If I need business advice, I'll ask.
Yeah, right. That's not going to happen with Uncle Dave. But I'm happy to have all the input. But, you know, though, so I have a bunch of sauces with Duce's Wild, and the original sauce, or what I call my competition sauce, is my dad's recipe of Sweet Baby Ray's, but it's got a little more honey, it's got a little chipotle and a little of our barbecue rub in it, so it's a little different, you know, a little higher flavor profile, but it's based around that. And then we have a bunch of stuff that's totally different, like a mustard-based barbecue sauce, a ghost chili mustard sauce. I make a DQ glaze, I call it, that I specifically made for competitions. That's high flavor profile, super shiny. But yeah, I get great input on it. I just need to sell more of it. Sure. You know, like it's like if you look at those Sweet Baby Ray numbers, you're like, oh man, this is nothing. But I know that.
Selfishly, owning a barbecue restaurant, having my own line of sauces, rub, the whole 9 yards, same thing, right? Do you find having them to lean on and ask questions and, hey, price points, bottles, you know, et cetera, what should it look like?
Yep.
All those things. Do you find that useful, or has times changed to where companies like, you know, Publix and Kroger's and Trader Joe's and all the grocery stores and Walmart, et cetera, are those changing to where the consumer's changing to be able to put packaged goods in there and be successful like they were?
My uncle is a wealth of knowledge in the total retail space. I almost know too much because it's deterring me from going further at this point right now, because, you know, he knows that you have to be at a certain price point to get your product off the shelf. We have the connections and the notoriety and the clout to get on the shelf, I would say, but we're not even to that point because you have to get the product off the shelf, which means you have to be at the right price point. Everything is price driven in retail, and you'll see all those main sauces that are getting it made at that same volume are, when it's on sale, it's $4.99. When it's regular price, it's $6.99. Well, Sweet Baby Ray's regular price is $2.99, and when it's on sale, it's $1.
Yep.
How are you going to compete with the best sauce there is? The best sauce. I'm not saying that it's my family. The best sauce by sales.
Yeah,
the numbers speak for themselves.
Yep.
If you're $4 more a bottle, so it's like, we're working on trying to find a co-packer that will have a partnership with us that we can get somewhere in the ballpark, but I have no volume to speak of. I sell some online. I sell to some of the retail stores, but it's nothing compared to the volume that these big co-packers are looking at to get you anywhere close to that price point. So that's
you almost have to have a deal ahead of time before you get there.
Yeah, you need to find a cruise ship, or you need to find a casino or something where you can produce some volume so you can go into it. But like I said, if we're working on a couple co-packers to try to start that relationship, I have a couple people that are trying to make our sauces right now to get to a lower price point. My current co-packer is kind of kicking me out because they're kind of changing their program and going less away from retail and more bulk, and I'm just not producing the volume that they want. So it's great. I would have no interest in going after the retail if I didn't have my uncle, because he has done it. He knows the lingo. There's other stuff there's nomenclature in every industry, and he knows it all. Yeah. So that helps out too.
It's amazing to think that there's a sauce company out there, i.e. Sweet Baby Ray's. Mm-hmm. And I never really, it's amazing that it just kind of hit me like this, that they're selling their sauce at $3 a bottle, and I'm sitting over here trying to sell mine at $8. Mm-hmm. Because it's the only way I'm going to make a dollar off of anything, right? And when I say $1, not an actual dollar, it's actually cents on every bottle. But and now that you say that, I sit here and think, we've been talking to Publix about carrying our sauce, and it makes sense. It's not even really, I think it would make more sense to put it in Publix and Kroger and all that as a marketing tool to break even than it would be to try to make money off of it, because it's not going to sell otherwise.
Yeah, and even for Sweet Baby Ray's, back when my uncle was still running it, that's how they would look at this. When they put it on special, they would look just to break even on it, but it gets it in the people's hands. So if they like it, then they want to go back, and hopefully they'll buy it when it's not on sale, and they'll make some money. But the retail space is very tough. I am kind of okay with selling online because the margins are there. You can make money online, and people are used to spending more. And you get some of that craft, higher end, You're not Sweet Baby Ray's. You're better than Sweet Baby Ray's because you're making it small batch. You're local. You're whatever. Insert any adjective you want. But the problem is that the volume is in retail, and they look at price, and that's just the way. You're never going to change that. And I mean, I'm that way. I look at what's on sale. I was at the store the other day, and I saw Starbucks coffee for $15.99 for 12 ounces. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I tell that story all the time. Before COVID, my wife likes Starbucks coffee. I drink Starbucks coffee at home. A bag, 12-ounce bag, $5.99 when it was on sale. I was like, that's not too bad. This week, $15.99.
And that was the sale price?
The sale price was $15.79.
Okay.
Oh, that was big savings.
Yeah, I blame some of that on some of those new like Black Rifle and some of those guys that came in, and like you said, started online, had a different kind of background, different form, had to make some money. But then that allowed these larger volume markets to just, we'll match all them. And then everybody became the same. Yeah. And I started drinking coffee later in life. Mm-hmm. But yes, after COVID, you saw those price jumps, and I was like, where's the $6 bag? I need something that I can afford to walk out of here with. So completely get it. I think about Sweet Baby Ray's, and this may have been quote before your time, but when I remember first Sweet Baby Ray's, it was them and that craft barbecue. Like, and Sweet Baby Ray's was the first one that I kind of thought, like, there's something different out here. Now, I'm a teenager. I wasn't doing any of the cooking yet. You know, I just enjoying. And Mom bought some, exactly what you said. The price point was competitive with craft, walking through whatever the grocery store was. And so when you look back at your uncle's story, and then now your story that you're trying to develop with Duce's Wild and stuff, compared to the market now, like back then, it was like if you could compete with craft, you had, okay, he was going to be good to go. Everybody has a sauce now. Every market has a, you know, here's our local guy, here's our big guy that came in, here's what this is. How do you inject yourself into a market that is so well saturated that you can still stand out when the price point is such a slim margin?
I mean, I think that's what I'm saying. That's very difficult. I think that's why, you know, going into the retail space is extremely challenging. And I've been told this by many people, you know, in the barbecue industry. The barbecue shelf is saturated. There's so much competition there, and they're all the same volume, so they're getting it all, like I said, at that $4, $5, $6 price point. When you look at it, there's Kraft, Sweet Baby Ray's, and maybe, you know, the store brand, or there's maybe a couple more that are at that lower price point, but everything else is at that 5, 6, 4, 5 to 6 range, you know, and it's very tough. That's why I think what you guys are doing and what Sean talks about is the storytelling and putting out the videos online and getting that awareness out there. You can create your own little ecosystem that, like, they buy Duce's Wild because they like me and the videos that I do. You know, they don't like it. They don't buy it because it's the best deal out there, because it's not, you know, and I don't care what you say, how great, you know, your product is and what makes it different. It's not that different. It's still tomato and sugar, and vinegar, you know,
maybe a little molasses and honey.
I like to look at it like it's a top shelf, like liquor. Like, you know, that bottle's a little bit bigger, a little bit flashier. Like, I'll go with that one. Yeah. And then you take it home and you're just slightly disappointed. You're like, we'll go something else next time.
Not going to say I've done that a couple of times.
I do it all the time.
Let's talk a little bit about social media. You're, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't post. I post at least one video every day on every platform. One post has something to do with food every day on every platform.
Yeah.
I spend way too much time on social media. But I feel it's kind of a necessary. I don't feel like. Back up. I don't feel like social drives revenue today. I think social drives revenue by staying in the hearts and minds of people that are fans of yours, and it sparks interest to become a fan, right? It's not a direct line, hey, I'm going to make this video and it's going to make me $20 today. But you don't post quite as much as I do. So tell me a little bit about your philosophy, because I think you post, once a week? Is that correct?
We release a brand new video every week, and then we've been doing it for 3 years. So then we recycle and use, you know, some of our pop-offs or something that fits the season. Like, and if you look back on my feed, like this week, we released a Halloween video, a scorpion sting chicken wing, and we released a chili recipe, but those were made, you know, a year or two. One was 2022, one was 2023, I think. So we'll post one brand new video a week, and that goes on, and it's changed over the years, but now we're really starting to build the Duce Raymond brand. But before that, everything was on SBR Catering, but now we're starting on the Duce Radiant brand. And then, like, so the brand new video will release on Friday, and then on Duce Raymond, and then it'll be released on SBR Catering on like Monday or Tuesday. But then in between there, we'll recycle some videos. We'll do some still image posts. You know, it's almost every day that there's something, and the stories are a little bit different, but there's almost every day that there's something going up. But it's not brand new content all the time. And that's something that I think is, little people are scared to do. But if you think about the volume of people out there, and especially if you're using those trial reels, definitely post recycled content on there, because then you're hitting all brand new people anyways. But one thing to think about is like we made a competition video, like a rib video, how to wrap competition ribs in, I think 2021 when we first started. And we've posted that thing 7 or 8 times, and every time it's over 1 million views. It's just like, it's what I tell people is like, it's like listening to a Bob Marley song. Well, you don't listen to it once and never want to listen to it again. Yeah. Just because you posted it once doesn't mean you can't post it again. If it's good content, it's good content. Now, if you post something and it doesn't perform, maybe you don't want to post it again because nobody's looking at it anyways. But if you have something that's successful, you most definitely use it again. And I just heard, I mean, it's kind of a bad reference, but I just heard one of the OnlyFans girls say this on the Impulsive podcast. She's like, I post the same thing because it hits. And as soon as it doesn't hit over 1 million views, I'll stop posting it. But I posted this video, and she's like, I'll keep doing it every month until it stops hitting. Why not?
Look, if it works and it's getting more people to know who you are, then it works.
Yeah.
Does it really matter if you've posted it twice this week or this year or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, we give it a few months, but this one video that I slice off the top of the brisket and then cut it into burnt ends. I mean, and that's like, people get pissed about that because they don't know what I'm doing. People love it because they just want to see burnt ends.
5 or 6 times myself.
Yeah, right.
How many times did you cuss?
Yeah,
I knew what he was doing, so I was fine with it. But I could just see. I've been around people and done what you were doing in person, and they go, "What are you? Whoa! What are you doing?" We're gonna use that for burnt ends.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine.
So funny.
It's good stuff.
But
now I got a question. Some of your content, and I will tell you what really got me was you did. Was it a pork butt or ribs? It's been a week or two since I've seen it. It might have been longer than that. That you did and a pastrami brine.
On ribs, yeah, the baby back ribs.
Ribs.
Pastrami. Yeah.
Now, I love pastrami.
Yeah.
And I love brining a brisket. I do mine for 21 days. I brine the heck out of it, like forever. People think I'm crazy, but it is so delicious.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, but I picture that flavor in my head, and then I put it on ribs, and I just I don't know where to go. I got like explosions going off all around in my mouth trying to tell me what that tastes like. So I'm going to have to do it. But since I have you in front of me, where did that come from? Where did you get that idea from? Like, what sauce do you put on it? I got to know.
Here's where the concept came from is every year for St. Patrick's Day, we were brining briskets for corned beef, and then we would make pastrami as well. And I'm like, well, we got this brine going. Let's put some other stuff in there. I made it on a pork butt. We made a video on that too. It was amazing. So I said, every year I was doing something different. I did pork butt. I did tri-tip. I did ribs. I did, so I did a bunch and I did a beef rib too, which was, as you could tell, because of brisket, it's just awesome. Yeah. But that's why I did it, is because I was having this brine. We're going to spend the time in the brine anyways. Let's do a few other things while we have the brine going. But the ribs, I mean, it's a little, you get that, corned beef pastrami flavor, but it's a little more hammy, I guess is the way I would describe it. Because that's what a ham is kind of like a cured meat, cured pork. And then you get that pepper crust on the outside. It was really good. You have to be careful with the ribs because they're much thinner than a brisket, and it can get too salty or just over brined, so you have to be careful with that. Just, they only took like 2 or 3 days, I think, in the brine.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
How long did you brine the pork butt for?
Same as the brisket. We were doing 10 days then. and you
I'm
just have
thinking
to
like
do
a
it.
redneck Reuben with pastrami brine
You
pork.
had me at Redneck Reuben. I'm fine. Like,
Yeah, I like it.
It sounds, I don't know. It just
But
came to
that's,
me. It's
you know,
great.
I went to, I don't even know if I got to this part of my story is, but so when I moved back from Utah and lived with Uncle Dave, I went to culinary school at Kendall College in Chicago. So that's all that chef part of me growing up with my dad as a chef. Then I got classic training. So I love taking traditionally smoked meats and pairing them with different flavor profiles, like international flavor profiles, whether it's Asian, Indian, South American, or taking like the process of brining and then putting my own twist on it. Like that's something that I really do. Those videos never perform as well as just like the burnt ends or the brisket or the competition ribs or something. They don't perform as well. Some of them pop off, but not as many. But that's something I'm passionate about because that's what I love, those different flavors, but using that smoked meat as a canvas, you know, is so amazing to me.
So I love anything smoked is amazing to me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My wife tells me all the time that not everything has to be smoked. And
I disagree.
And my response is everything has to be smoked once because we have to try it. Okay.
Yes.
So a couple of things that are strange that I've smoked in my past. Kiwi. Don't smoke a kiwi.
No.
It does
Don't
not
smoke
come.
broccoli either.
No,
Broccoli
okay,
does not
okay.
taste good smoked. I tried.
Not good. Okay.
You can check that off the list.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. We'll knock that one off. No broccoli, no kiwis. I've done pineapple, which is amazing. I love smoked pineapple. We've done smoked potatoes, done smoked eggs, right? Like some crazy off the wall stuff that people go, what? We've done ice cream, which is just incredible. If you've never smoked some ice cream, I highly suggest it.
Interesting.
It's interesting how you have to do it. So you have to, it can't be in the tub and just scoop it out and go smoke it. Like, it's a colder smoke, 100 degrees I do mine for 6 minutes, but it sits, I put it in a cold pan, in a 1-inch hotel pan. And then put that in a ice bath and just get it as cold as you possibly can in a freezer. And then I take all of that and put that in the smoker for 6 minutes at about 100, 110 degrees. And just really, we use an offset smoker. So it's just billowing smoke everywhere. Right?
I'm going to try that at home and I'm going to get laughed at.
Bro, so
I know where this is going to go.
So then once you get done with that, then you take it and throw it right back in, throw the ice cream back in the freezer, let it get hot, right? Or cold. Wrap it with saran wrap so it doesn't freeze or burn, all the stuff. And then once it freezes, then you can scoop it right back out. But you scoop it out, crumble up some graham crackers, put some chocolate and caramel on top of it, and it literally will taste like a s'more.
I mean,
Interesting.
Oh, it's delicious. It's delicious.
I'm going to get laughed
at,
out,
but it's delicious.
I can already tell. But
so, I tell you all of that from a guy that obviously thinks outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
What's the craziest thing you've ever smoked?
The craziest thing I've ever smoked. We did. I mean, it's not so outside the box, but we did. A baron of beef, you know what that is, like the cruise ships do with the huge bone, and it took like 24 hours to get cooked. We did it for a big catered event that we had, and we had it on a carving station, so that was really cool. I mean, not so outside the box, but I don't think.
What did you cook it on?
So we have a Southern Pride smoker, so it was able. We kind of sat it down sideways and was able to. You know, that's got the rotisserie, so you got to have enough clearance and everything. But it worked. It worked. But we've cooked. I can't think of anything too crazy. I've cooked pretty much every protein you can think of. But outside of that,
pastrami brining ribs is pretty crazy.
Yeah, pastrami brining the ribs, the pork shoulder. I've cooked elk in the smoker. That was really good. I haven't had elk that often, but we put in the smoker and then seared it in a cast iron skillet. I really like that. I like that whole process for any meat that you want, like medium rare steaks or whatever, to hit it low and slow in the smoker and get it nice and cooked all the way, like even medium rare all the way through, and then sear it either on a grill or in a cast iron. It's really good.
I have started doing that with my steaks. And you don't have to worry about it getting charred or burned or anything. It comes out at a very consistent temperature because like you've got everything nailed. And I got the whole family now eating steaks where typically everybody's like, I like this, I like that. And I'm like, no, we're right here. And I turn it up at the end for about just 10 minutes, just enough to kind of almost sear, but not on the, I'm cheating. I'm using my pellet. Like, I'll be honest, but you get my point though. Like you were saying, that just, it's so consistent and so even. You don't, for that medium rare, you're not worried about overcooking it and scorching or whatever. So,
that's
always
a beautiful way.
Yeah.
You got a mac or beans?
I do. So you've got this whole concept of going with Duce's Wild. You've got Sweet Baby Ray's Catering. You've got the higher end culinary restaurant going. You've got a background in traveling the United States, but you have a background in a formal culinary education. If you have to and I'm going to put a caveat to it. We don't usually do that with mac or beans. Well, first, I guess I should do the mac or beans. If you go to the barbecue restaurant, are you getting the mac and cheese or the barbecue baked beans?
The baked beans.
Baked beans. That's been on the run here lately.
Beans have been on a run.
They sure have. I will say, if you're ever close to Nashville, this guy has got the baked beans.
I got a question for Charlie.
I love it. Let's do it.
So I'm, in the middle of developing the new concept for Duce's Wild and thinking about trimming. The way we trim our brisket now is more minimalist. We don't take that much off. We take some of the fat off, but the way I do it in the videos and the way you see the guys in Texas do it and everything, you're taking more of that mohawk off, you're taking more of the meat off and shaping it. And then what I've heard you say is then you're using that to grind for burgers. So do you still do that?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And do you find that hard to manage with how much, what your trim is? Is that enough to make the burgers? Do you have to put an extra meat to it, or how does that all play out?
So I was worried about it when we first started, when we first opened. And it's why we started with a 5-ounce smash burger. And then I quickly realized that I don't sell a ton of burgers. And so I was like, okay, well, now I need to figure out what else can I do with my brisket trim. So then we put chili on the menu. And this was all first year. The chili went on the menu, sold great during the winter, right? And we pull it off. I'll pull it off in mid-March, 1st of April. And we just put it back on literally yesterday. So it's brand new. It's back on the menu. We'll run it until mid-March, April. Once it starts getting 60, 70 degrees outside, people stop wanting a hot soup, right? So, so we take it off the menu and we won't sell it again. And I got to where I was having 100, 200, 300 pounds of ground beef left over every week, or not every week, but I'd build up in my freezer. And I'd have to figure out something to do with it, and we'd make meatloaf, or we'd come up with some other stew or whatever. We'd figure out ways to use it. And this year we changed the menu, did a refresh rather, and I changed my burgers to an 8-ounce smoked patty. And so I've pretty much, for lack of better terms, doubled the amount of meat that we're using on burgers. What I did not account for, and we haven't had the problem yet. We're staying right on fresh as it is right now, so I don't have to add anything to it. But we're not having any extra. So we quadrupled the amount of burgers we're selling from a smash patty to an 8-ounce smoked patty now. So it is,
especially because smash are so the rage right now. Everyone's talking about smash.
Everybody's Blackstone at home.
Yeah, so. The first week we went from I was selling 50 burgers a week to the first week we sold just under 100. And now I think last week we sold right at 230, 240.
Wow.
So
What's
it's
your
definitely
half pound brisket burger cost on the menu? Out of curiosity.
We have just the burger itself, fries, as the standard side item is $13.95,
Oh, wow.
$13.99.
I'm flying down there just for that. That's the deal.
Yeah.
What's the burger you give that I get though?
We have two other burgers. We have
for it.
one called the porch burger.
The porch burger, baby.
And then that's not the one that you get.
I know, but that's where I started, and that's home. But
that one is $14.99. And it comes with a little bit of brisket on it, some porch cheese and jalapenos and hot sauce. And then we have a bourbon bacon jam burger.
Talk to me.
Which is the newest burger to the menu, and it has a bourbon bacon jam that we make in house, and a pickled red bell pepper.
Oh, so good.
I'm telling you this right now. Put that bacon jam on your smoked ice cream.
Yes, I have.
You have. Okay,
I
good.
have. Yes, it's phenomenal. Yeah. I think you just Derry's light bulbs just went off. He's going crazy over here. Yeah. I'm working on some
You've
things.
been holding out on me.
I got more too. I'm also working on a sauteed banana. It's a deep fried banana, really, in beef fat, that I deglaze in a smoked bourbon.
If that's a fruit, that's a health item, right?
Yes. But I put that on top of a hoe cake, which is a griddled piece of cornbread, and a little bit of whipped cream. It's something I'm still refining the recipe, but it's going to be really good.
That's like a form of banana Fosters. I could see
Yeah,
that.
that's exactly.
Yeah. So in my brain, I was thinking about how do I take banana pudding to the next level, and then banana Foster kind of came in my mind, but I want to keep it barbecue, so I put a hoe cake in there just to make it different and more us, and I have to make more smoked ice cream, so we're thinking that it's going to be the hoe cake, the banana mixture with smoked ice cream. So is kind of what we're.
Just let me know when you need a
playing around with. So
tasting, I'll be in. So I'll pencil that one in.
Make it happen. We'll make it happen. So
all this started with a macro beans.
It did.
So Duce, what I was going to go say, run, operate, develop a business, or is the passion still there? I want to be in the kitchen.
No, I'm running and operating the business and growing the brand for sure. That's what I'm most passionate about right now. And I'm so pumped on it. And I mean, it's tough for me because I want to go farther, faster, but I still have to manage the operations here. We've had some success, but it's like, there's still so many moving parts in the catering business, and making sure, just everything from the operations to the culinary department to the sales and marketing, every component to the business needs my attention at some point.
Right.
And so I'm still, the catering business is, the profitable business that's kind of being able to drive our growth and everything. So I have to make sure that baby's taken care of still.
Right.
So
we had Douglas Keene on a few weeks ago, and you could still tell that even though he can't be quite as creative because he is operating such a beautiful restaurant and establishment now, he was talking about it still takes 4, 5, 6 weeks for him to really pull the trigger on developing that. But that's still where a lot of what he loves doing is those new menu tweaks. And so I think it's unique to each operator, each person. You're fully invested now in trying to make sure that what's taking care of everything stays operating smoothly,
right,
but at the same time keep this on the back burner. So well done, because I don't envy you and your lack of sleep, and that's for sure.
Well, I get some of my culinary needs fulfilled by doing the videos that I do. So that's where I
Okay.
get to be creative and have fun with food still. I mean, I still cook at home all the time. And like I said, making the videos, I get to pretty much make whatever I want and whatever I think that people are going to be interested in seeing, you know?
What do you enjoy more, competition barbecue or backyard? You're on the porch, cold sweet tea and a smoker going.
100% the cold sweet tea and the smoker going. I mean, the competition barbecue is fun and I like the competitiveness. So
Yeah.
I was just and I don't do competitions anymore, really. I mean, from like 2010 to 2018, I got really heavy into it. And that the big part of enjoyment there was the staying up all night and drinking and, giving your buddies a hard time the whole time.
Yeah.
But now I was just at a competition, which is rare for me, over the weekend, and the anticipation of the awards and wanting to win and being recognized by your peers and all that stuff, that's still real. Like I still got butterflies and like excited about it. I'll show you this.
Kept it close.
Yeah.
There it is. I love it.
So it's still fun and exciting, but man, I'd much be rather home with the family or friends over and cooking something over a Weber grill, and that's way better. And the barbecue is actually better than at the competition. Competition is so over pumped with flavor.
It's over the top.
It's over the top. You could take one bite of it and yeah, it's good, but it's still not as good as, the brisket I make in my backyard when it's just like.
I tell people it's like it's like eating a good prime steak that is seared to perfection, and then getting that same steak in a Kobe beef or a Wagyu A5 that is just so rich and it's so over the top. It's just, you get one bite of it. There's a reason why when you go to a restaurant and you get some Kobe or you get a Wagyu that it's only 2 ounces. It's not a 16-ounce steak, right? So, All right, look, so you've been in the business a long time. You've been to culinary school. You've had some incredible family members for mentorship on the sauce side and the retail. You got the restaurant, your media side with all the videos and podcasting and everything that you do. You're a wealth of knowledge yourself. What is the best piece of advice that you've been given in your career that you would pass forward to others?
There's been a lot, but I think the thing that's helped me the most is surround yourself with great people, and you can do it. You can't do it yourself. And that's something that I see every single day in our business. Is I wouldn't be able to do anything that I'm doing without people that I can trust and work alongside with. And we have everybody from our accountant and our HR manager and our sales director and our chef and everything is like, you need to have, if you want to grow and expand, you have to have a good team. And that's something that I think is extremely important to what I'm doing. And that was recommended to me and learned also. I did it through trial and error, but people have told me that too. And I think any business or self-development podcast you listen, you're going to come across that advice somewhere.
Very much so. Very much so. No truer words are spoken. Got to have some good people. Derry, you got a good Friday feel good for us?
Yeah, I do. It's short and sweet, and I'm going to keep it media friendly. Forget your mood. Follow the plan. Too many times we let our emotions or whatever dictate what we're doing. Find your plan, stick to it. Longevity, it's not a sprint. Y'all know what to do. Find somebody you know, tell them you love them.
I love it. I love it. Stick to it. Duce, we appreciate you coming to hang out with us today. If people are trying to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Easiest way is like Instagram or TikTok at Duce Raymond. Send me a DM, follow the page. Yeah, that's easy. At Duce
You can
Raymond.
get involved in the argument on brisket.
Yep.
So
For sure. Sure. Where do people get Duce's Wild Sauces?
Right now, it's duceswildbbq.com. That's the easiest way to do it. Unless you're right here local in Chicago, Wooddale, Itasca area, then it's at Jewel and Ace Hardware and stuff like that. But online, duceswildbbq.com.
That's awesome. I appreciate you coming to hang out with us today, Duce. Look, guys, you know what to do. If you want to get some Duce's Wild sauce, go do so. My man would love for you to at least try one or two.
Hell yeah.
I can tell you that they're pretty good. Okay. If you want to get involved with the show, please feel free to reach out to me. You can call me at 615-307-0120. You can email me at charlie@singletreebbq.com. And please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the show. Watch us on Saturday mornings, or listen to us on Saturday mornings on ESPN 94.9. And until next time, guys, we'll see you then.
Y'all be good.